Hello and welcome to Core Finance with me, Matt Brown. We're out on the road and we are at Franklin Templeton, the global fund manager in the Leeds office. And I have with me, and we're very lucky to have with us today, Paul Spencer, who is a fund manager. How are you today, Paul?
Very well, thank you, Matt.
Good. Well, thank you very much for this brief interview. Now, starting off, what funds do you manage?
I run the UK mid-cap fund, but also co-manage the Focus Fund and smaller co's.
Okay, can you, just focusing in on the Focus Fund, what is the Focus Fund?
The Focus Fund is a sort of a collaboration of 4 fund managers, each of whom picks their best ideas, and each has a separate pot where those best ideas are represented and the portfolio comes together in one fund. So if you think we are capable of finding 10 really good ideas in our specific part of the market, then it's a good reflection of what our best ideas are.
Fantastic, and it's all UK based?
Well, the fund managers are UK based. We're here in Leeds, but yes, I mean it's representing a large cap, mid cap, small cap, and a multi cap pot. So each of the fund managers has specific responsibility for particular market cap part of the market. So my pot's mid cap. You get my best ideas in that fund. My 10 ideas in there would represent the really big overweights that you'd see in my mid cap fund as well.
Super. So mid caps, just talk us through what mid caps are. I mean, I think everyone looks at the FTSE 100, but maybe the mid caps don't get as much attention. So let's just focus in on those and the constituents of the mid caps.
It's a shame if they're not getting appropriate attention for investors, because it's a really interesting part of the market. I think the FTSE 250 is very different to the 100 in many ways, in terms of sector makeup, geographic makeup, much more varied, much wider universe, much younger companies in terms of their maturity, much more likely to get bid for, I think, in the long run. So my universe, I think, gives a real opportunity to get companies where I think there are rating anomalies. Much more likely, I think, to find value there, and a long-term track record of mid-caps would certainly suggest that it's an area of the market you should see outperformance from.
So over the past year, I should say, we've seen a lot of change going on politically and economically in the UK. A lot of investors that I've spoken to have shied away from the market and happily sat on cash. What's your view on that? Have you stepped away and just sat on cash, or has this created opportunities over the past year?
Well, just tackling the cash issue first. We don't mess about with the cash in the fund at all. We're always fully invested. Good. But we're sort of lapping the Brexit week now, and it was a fairly traumatic 5 days from the 23rd of June to the 28th of June, and mid-cap did perform poorly. However, if you want to amuse yourself for 2 minutes, go and look how the mid-caps performed from the 30th of June onwards. There were a lot of opportunities, a lot of stocks got badly hit. Not all of them recovered, so we took advantage of that. At the time, we did quite a bit of repositioning. More latterly, we haven't done an awful lot with the portfolio. We felt it was in the right shape for what has been, as you say, an interesting political period. But we run long-term money. It doesn't really influence what we're doing on a short-term basis. So the portfolio will always be taking a pretty long-term view. And
looking forward, opportunities, have investors now missed those opportunities, or do you think there's still value in the market?
Well, I've been asked that for 11 years of running the fund. I think anyone taking a long-term perspective needs to look at equities in terms of adding appropriate risk reward to their underlying asset exposure. In the long run, equities will probably be a very good place to be invested. There's a phrase, TOWIE, the only way is equity, and it does feel like that at the moment.
Can I use that?
You can do. It feels as though other asset classes are offering such poor returns. Equities are the least dirty shirt. Now, today wouldn't necessarily be the world's greatest point in time to invest capital, but given the alternatives, it's probably the best place to actually look for long-term risk-adjusted returns. Mid-cap should play a part of that. It's 16% of the all shares, so if you're looking at UK equities, mid-caps are a pretty big chunk of the overall market. So is now the best time in the world? If your time horizon's long enough, I'm pretty sure it is. But I wouldn't be wanting to call the market on a 6 day, 6 month view. I think that's a fool's game.
Yeah. Well, on that note, Paul Spencer of Franklin Templeton Investments, fund manager here, with the soundbite, the only way is equity. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Matt.